Okay, we are... Did I? I did, okay. We are on the last SCP of BB Aztec. It's the last SCP of theirs that we get to read. We have called the name out twice so far. Because they have... majority of their work is in Series 2. And then they have 3 in Series 3, sorry. I was about to say 4. Would not make any sense. The last one we had was 2614. Which was... Oh, yeah, it was like... when you like... it's not out yet. It's actually come out in October. But it is the... It started off with The Sopranos. Like, you kind of like visit like a TV show, and then that TV show visits another TV show. If they watch TV in that show itself, it's kind of like hopping from one TV show to the next one type of thing within the world. So that was the last one we had of BB Aztec. And BB Aztec, before we read Kali Yuga, before we read that, I just want to say thank you so much for all your work. I had a really good time reading the ones you had. It's a shame I only like got to. Also, let's double check which one is the second last one we had of BB Aztec, because that's, again, it's one of the ones that we actually called out, that we shouted out. The other ones before we didn't. But here we go, 2267. Oh yeah, it was that one music video that like is very like futuristic. Like, it's like impossible for it to actually have been recorded or done. Like this really like hyper like futuristic music video. That was also fun. Again, thank you so much, BB Aztec. I hope that you do see this video, and I hope that maybe you leave a comment down below. Yeah, he has told me. He didn't tell me exact amounts. Like, he has changed it to like try to give me like exact amounts per SCP, which I appreciate. But he told me 16.6 thousand. So it's gonna be a little bit longer than last weekend's SCP, but not by much. Not by much. Maybe like an hour and a half an hour. Or 20 minutes, to be honest. Okay. Kali Yuga, here we go. Help your class save. Special containment procedures. SB2811 is to be kept in a storage locker in Site 11. SB2811 is to be taken out of containment at least once every 20 minutes. Burn further modification to text body. Okay, yeah, the text body, gotcha. Also, Howard did not tell me if there's any like tales we need to read or not, which I assume just means he thinks there isn't any. If there is one that we think is interesting to read, we shall. Description: SB2811 is a large paperback book titled Blue. Now that I think about it, wasn't there a tale I was supposed to read for another SCP and I completely forgot? I think I forgot to read one of the tales. Shit. Oh well. People, if I forgot to read a tale from one of the previous SCPs, let me know, because I think I did. And I'll make sure to read it immediately. Write in the comments of one of the videos if you see this and you were watching all the previous SCPs before. Preliminary investigations revealed no author on publishing house linked to the name. The item number 564 pages of text, excluding the title page and a final blank page. The report of SB2811's acquisition is available for perusal in document 2811-0X. Again, it's a large paperback book titled Blank Blue. Gotcha. Upon discovery, the original narrative of SB2811 was written in an amalgam of different literary elements, including those of romantic, classical, and postmodern styles. The story follows a despondent writer's obsession with a woman he meets after his relocation to Paris. When the individual assigned to reading SB2811 resumed reading the following day, researchers found the text had shrunk to accommodate new passages of varied length. Subsequently, personnel determined the precise sequence of effect as being 30 minutes of inactivity, defined as the object being placed on a stable surface and not coming into physical contact with a biological agent at any point. Produce approximately 500 words of text. Afro reads about his piece in a song, "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place." I don't know why I found that funny. Hey, it's Rihanna. I'm pretty sure like some SCPs also listen to Rihanna. Especially that one succubus SCP where like the guy's like, I'm going to save you. I'll get you out of there. And especially that SCP that makes you think you're seeing your dream girl. It makes you think you're pregnant with a girl that you have had no sexual relations with. That definitely probably makes you think you found love in a hopeless place. I'm glad you put up with me as well, Afro. Where did that come from? These editions have been of divergent nature. Passages will expound on the minutiae of minor characters' lives, lecture on the history of geographic regions, as well as private locations such as characters' kitchen have known to describe concepts and abstractions in an unusual style. Regardless of content, the editions are tangential to the main narrative in nature. The anomalous effect can be likened to that of Koch Snowflake, a figure that depicts of an infinite set of points existing in a finite bounded figure. Since procurement, the size of 2811's text has been reduced to microscopic scale, there is no theoretical limit to the amount of text that SCP-2811 may contain. To repeat, the original narrative remains coherent throughout these digressions, but its conclusion remains physically elusive as passages have been observed to appear in all areas of the text body, with the font shrinking in proportion to passage length. Research is ongoing. Okay, so it keeps changing internally like the... Okay, I see. Okay. Text located notable development. So we have page 100 to 131. Narrator becomes infatuated with a woman named he meets in a Parisian cafe or Parisian cafe. The narrator believes the woman is a figure of divine retribution. He showers her with adoration, plans to compose a book of writings in her name. Well, does he? 145 to 180. So these are the pages, by the way, just to make sure that you all understand. Digression into the genealogy of a man the narrator notices wearing unusually dark attire in his first morning in Paris, whom he refers to as wearing night alone in all that glowing street. It is also revealed that the man has a daughter, subsequently which the narrator voices is lost in the text as it shifts to the child's experience. Approximately 30 to 50 pages follow detailing the 8-hour duration of this daughter's afternoon with her mother spent being taught weaving. Interesting. So it can also be like, even though here we have page 145 to 180, which is a total of 36 pages if you include, like, of course you, yeah, that's 36 pages. It does say here that it can still go beyond that with the 30 to 50 pages of like the daughter's life, even though that's probably not included in the original page numbers. 254 till 265, an 18-year history of an alleyway in Dublin in the area of the city. The text describes the thoughts and emotion of all individuals who squatted or passed through the location. But now we have 255 till 287. So 255 is back again. A passage in poetic verse apparently on the subject of war. SCP-2811 is capable of apparent intertextuality as pairs of lines were revealed to have been taken from existing poems written during World War I and II. I know that I shall meet my fate / somewhere among the clouds above / okay, it's a poem. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. It seemed that out of battle I escaped down some profound long tunnel long since scooped. The darkness crumples away. It is the same old druid time as ever. We came upon him sitting in the sun, blinded by war, and left. Okay, it's poetic, but not a typical poem that we all think of. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. It seemed that out battle I escaped down some profound long since scooped. The same old druid time as ever. We came upon him sitting in the sun, blinded by war. Okay, so the druid, like, time has come for them. While they were sitting in the sun, we came upon him sitting in the sun, blinded by war, and left. I'm not good with forms, like, interpret that correctly, I'm sorry. 309 till 310. The names of 5 women living in the modern Greek city of who have lost a child. Follow-up investigations discovered the women currently living with a 5-mile radius of each other in aforementioned location. 311 till 367. Original narrative designated Eon. Okay, original narrative. Text describing the writer's distress at having his advances rejected by. So I assume this is the same as the beginning, where it's like, oh, please. At one point, when he is in his apartment overlooking the wharf, the narrator happens to see they are holding the hands of an unidentified man. In a fit of apparent psychosis, the writer transcribes a 6,000-word series of writing in which he believes is a goddess and cosmic force of destruction. Fragment: bathe in milk, the sobbing scars of earth, and hear the trees of summer sheen, singing again. Oh, the red song out of the sky, a bludgeoner of the face of creation. Oh, the clouds and sweet fire, the clouds and sweet fire. Actually, I kind of like the idea of like the concept of a narrator being obsessed with the character, which normally happens if you have a first-person narrator, right? And even like a second-person narrator. But like, I would love if like a third-person narrator that has nothing to do with the story. Like, it's not like a character in the story telling the story. You know what I mean? It is a omnipotent narrator telling the story. But then you see like how they are slowly falling in love with one of the characters and kind of get like jealous so much that they sabotage their own story. Like the story just falls apart because the narrator is like, I can't let this happen. No, they don't deserve them. I want them. I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be like an interesting fourth wall break story to do. 401 till 455. A digression into the uncensored stream of consciousness of 3 men camping by a lake. M.E. Is that supposed to be one of the states? Operators were able to confirm the outing had occurred recently, the text noted. 523 till 534. Final. Okay, the original narrative. Fragment locatable. Described as straddling the body of a suicide by an unknown river. The first recorded omission of a place name in text. Efforts into triangulating the remainder of the narrative proved unsatisfactory. So wait. Wait. So the woman described as creating the body of a suicide by an unknown river. Okay, so maybe the woman's cradling the man that was like that she held her hand with, and then the narrator killed. 540 till 545. Current final page of text follow the ongoing stream of consciousness of a helicopter pilot in Hong Kong who suffers from fear of his wife's infidelity. Almost seems like a connection there. But it does... Interesting. So that's what it says now. But let's not forget that it does change. The text changes over time, and font, and size. So that's interesting. But it looks like the overall focus is definitely the narrative font being in love with somebody, or I assume the reason why Hong Kong, the man in Hong Kong suffers from fear of his wife's infidelity must because the narrator was like, "Oh, you're not mine anymore. You decided to go for a different person, not for me." Even though, like, I don't know how a character will go for the narrator instead. Like, if the narrator wasn't a physical character in the story. But yeah, it seems like the overall focus is like trying to earn or win someone's love, and the moment it doesn't work, death, rituals, jazz hands. Not gonna lie, I think I would read SCP-2811. Would you read SCP-2811? I think not, because like I would, after like a certain amount of pages, be like, this thing is just jumping all over the place. I'm not keeping up with this. You know what I mean? I'm like, after it jumps from like a narrator being in love with a character to suddenly like 30 to 50 pages of a girl learning how to weave by the mom, and then to a history of an alleyway in Dublin, I'll be like, okay, this thing is so out of focus, it's just not fun to read. I was like, this, it cannot decide what it wants to talk about, and I'd rather just not read it. That'd be my mindset with this. I'd be like, after the fifth, like, if it jumps 5 times within the story, I'd just be like, like, there's a difference in, like, Game of Thrones, where, like, it jumps between different characters, because you at least know this is all within the same world. But if you're just jumping from, like, one story to a different story, and they have absolutely 0 connections, then you just get like, they're like, what is all this? And then you have a documentary in the middle of it. I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I'm not gonna read this. If I want to know about the alleyway of Dublin, then I would have looked some Dublin history of said alleyway. If I wanted to read poems from a World War I or World War II veteran, then I will do that. I don't need like 60 other stories attached to it. So no, I would not read it. Because I was like just be like, I read everything. And as you guys like thinking about it, reading SCPs is the most like whiplashy thing ever, if you think about it, right? Because one moment you read about like the most horrendous thing ever, the next thing you know, you read about like I don't know, a guy that has a tentacle growing out of its stomach and wants to be a superhero, and you're like, okay. So yeah, but with SCPs, you at least know there's an overarching like world, right? Like it's like, oh, the foundation's there, like, and all these different groups of interest exist and all that stuff. So yes, it is very much random, but you still can be like, but all within the same world, and of course at the end you can also think like the world gets reset quite often. So, but yeah, no, will not read it.